even better climber than San Francisco. The fact is that they don't really close all the windows. I mean, for Germans, it's extremely extraordinary to do things like that, even without real profile. It's just let it open. Yeah, that's wonderful because you can save a lot of money as well, and the design is much better. Let's get in the Australian Green Star system a 6-star plus rating, the highest point ever rated. That's about the double skin and all the advantages coming from there. And it's about natural ventilated atrium. We have an atrium in the back of the building, 150 meters high. And this is natural ventilated from the back. You will see that in a minute. Solar cooling on the roof. We have rainwater use and retreatment. And as well, which is in every building from the office included, but here it is written, it is recycled concrete, as well it is recycled steel, and it has FSC rated timber. It comes to the point where we use recycled timber as well. It's not on the table here, but we did that for the roof terrace and for some parts of the building. This is the final design. You see the integrated atrium on the back. In Australia, south is where the sun is never, and north is where our south is. So we put the back of the building to the south, getting some fresh air into the building from there, and providing as well a space for the elevators and stairways and things, and some bridges and balconies here around, so you can enter the building from the back as well. And then this is the most flexible office space we are providing, and this is the service for that. And again, it's a double skin. It's an operable window. We are providing 50% of the year natural ventilation, although Sydney is nearly the same as Osaka, quite humid in the summer, very hot temperatures, 42, 43, 45 degrees even. So again, the sun shading is essential between these white glass facades, and it's at the same time providing the glare protection like in this Swarovski project. This is the statistics showing the humidity and the temperature and the relation between, and the green zone is representing the percentage of the year where it is possible to ventilate the building by that operable windows. This is again a kind of blade, making again sure that the used air is thrown out. And this is how that works in detail. Looks like that. You will see in a minute that it looks really like that. It's a very, very transparent glass on that building, pure white glass. Beautiful view to the harbor bridge. This is the atrium concept, night perch through louvers on the back of the building. And this is a model, and this is the building like it is today on the building site. You see, this is the exposed concrete ceiling in the ground floor, and then you have a look into the atrium, and this is how that looks like in detail. It's a curved form with many balconies and bridges orientated to it. And what it really is, it is a community space. In a normal office building, you just meet the people in the elevator, isn't it? And you can never see the office environment of these people, although you maybe visit them officially. But here in this building, it's like you're moving in that atrium and you look from the back into everybody's living room, anyway. That is how it looks like. Some balconies, the back of the building. It's roughly 50% of the building is finished. Not finished, but raised. And that is what I talked about. That's already an attainment award, and that is the building side. You can imagine the beautiful view they have to the harbor. That is a transparent glass. What you can hardly see is the louvers on the back maybe, and you see with the concrete that there's glass in, but it's nearly invisible. It's really, really very, very transparent. That is the building shape from fireplace in between the palm trees. The question is there some resume about these kind of projects? I would say, yes, we started 19 years ago with the design of that to go for that kind of sustainability issue. It is necessary to convince your clients, yes, but it's possible. I never met a client who was not willing to be part of that movement. They all want to do good things. There's nobody really in the world who does consciously do bad things, isn't it? I mean, it's really possible to convince them, but it's necessary that architects try to convince the clients. It's not just going by themselves. Good architecture is always about construction. And for me at least, I think it starts always with construction. I think the respect against the engineers is needed. It should be a discussion under equal, not in a hierarchy like the architect is the head of the team and the rest is following the architect. I think that is a silly idea. It's not needed, this idea anymore. Then I would say it could get to some simplicity, not the simple one, but a sophisticated one. Not the complicated things are the better things. Green can be really green. I mean, from time to time, it's enjoyable to just plant things and not just thinking about green technologies, but really enjoying things that are green. It is possible, and it is maybe needed to cover one of the biggest structures in the world by earth, putting that underground, giving the site you have used back to the people. Remember Sydney, where we give it back by the ground floor, by the roof terrace, by things like that. It's possible to get a site back to the people, even if you use that. And in the case of the Stuttgart main station, it's a necessity to bring it back, because otherwise the city would not work. It's possible to do that in every scale. It's possible to do that everywhere. Osaka is definitely not the easiest place to do that. We have done a building like that as well in Singapore. I didn't show that. Singapore is even more humidity. So it is possible to do something like that. It is more important, for sure more important, to take care for the spaces in between the buildings. I think architects take architecture much too serious and much too much important. I always ask the people if they remember a building on the Champs-Élysées. Nobody ever did, or the Via Veneto, or however, yeah. And that is the reason for that is very, very clear. Architecture is not so important. What is important is the street, the park, the alleys, the city itself. And it's possible to do a good strategy and a good upfront, very, very early in the process. You influence the process much more. The client, the architects, the engineers do influence that in the first minutes the most. It's possible to live in a plant house. It's possible as well to do refurbishment on very, very mediocre developments from the 60s and 70s. I think a mixed city is needed. Mixture has not necessarily to do with a mixture in the building. There are many, many people looking for a mixed building. Yes, interesting, but very, very difficult. And most developers and clients don't like that. I think there's a reason for not liking it, because the flexibility in the building is not quite good in a mixed building. But you can have a residential building just the other side of an office one, just the other side of a shopping one. That's the same mixture. The city don't care about that mixture in the building, or if it's a mixture of buildings. And I think that is needed. Could be also beautiful. I mean, beauty is an aim. You shouldn't aim to that aim too obvious, too much. I think it is coming from right decisions, and if you do all the right decisions, the end will be a beautiful building, I'm absolutely sure. This is one of the recent competitions we won for the ICC, the International Criminal Court in The Hague, which shows that architecture has also a responsibility in ethical and moral standards, because here there will be court trials against people who, cynically spoken, have murdered more than 5,000 people. The question is, can you provide an architecture which is neutral enough to be understood all around the world, in Africa, in South America, in Europe, which is not just a Eurocentral thing. It's not just about Greek architecture of things. It is about something which everybody understands. The ceiling, maybe a roof, a floor, something in between, very transparent, very readable, very understandable, and hopefully beautiful. I think the last picture shows where it is all about. It's about providing a good city, living space, make these people a little happy as architects, engineers. I think that's the aim we are aiming to. So thank you very much.